national park, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's lots of national parks up around here, so I'm excited. What were you gonna
I
say, Eric?
I was gonna ask you actually about Portland, Oregon. So what are you planning on doing in Portland? Because we are currently working on a youth leadership festival not too far from Portland for youth leaders, and really it's going to be in July, but really focusing on how to integrate more of these youth leaders. It's a nonprofit, but it's really like integrating a lot of. It's a 5-day experience focused on making sure that our next generation is really allowed or encouraged to step up, to tap into their mind, body, spirit, and their
And
finance, so that they can create and cultivate their dreams in the present moment versus down the line. So it's
No
something really
way.
profound. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like like that's freaking amazing. And you just spoke straight to my soul. I'm literally like I'm a spiritual life coach. And so like that is totally right up my alley. And then yeah, so please tell me more. You don't have to, I don't know if right now is appropriate, but we can definitely connect later or
Yeah,
um
100%. We can talk. There's lots of things that are happening. But I'm curious more about what you are all up to, and how has since Date with Destiny, how things have been integrating and making things happen in your lives. Catherine, if you want to show your screen, it would be amazing to see you.
I because I'm at work, so I'm choosing not to put my camera on.
Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But if you want, I can start telling you about your questions, if that's all right.
Yeah, of
yes.
course, please.
Yeah.
Please.
All right. So, after Date with Destiny, it has been very interesting for me. I had like some. Well, for me, it was kind of hard to have a boyfriend, and the the event finished, and on that weekend, I went to a wedding, and I met a guy, and we clicked immediately, and we've been like I think 3 months now together. So for me, it's like a breakthrough. We are a long distance situation, so I'm going to Paris in June to meet him and to be in another wedding with him. So I am super stoked and excited for that. Um, I also have always wanted to lose a little bit of weight. I'm not too fat, but you have like this goal from you, and I put my serious pants on, and I have been taking care of my diet, taking care of the workout, and talking with a doctor every month, and so far I've lost like 5 kilograms. So
Nice.
I've seen.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I've seen changes in my body. Everybody's telling me. So it's very, very nice to see that.
I'd love to know how
I'm
you're
also.
feeling besides like the body changes. Like how are you feeling? Your energy and your
Mm.
Well, it's been a roller coaster because of the dieting. I changed. It's like a keto kind of thing without carbohydrates. So at first it was like very draining. Like I felt like I wanted to just sleep and be at my bed and do nothing. But the time has gone by, and I have the, I think changed the biochemistry, and it helps me to feel okay. I went back to my full energy, and I'm feeling okay. It's kind of a struggle when people have birthdays because there are a lot of cake around, and if you say no, Colombian people get mad. Like, are you not gonna eat cake? How? I was just in a birthday this weekend, and that happened. But the rest of it, I feel more confident, I think, and more open, and people notice. So it's kind of nice. And I also have like a coaching business I started with Dean Graciosi, and what is that? Project Next, and I'm growing it. It's been a struggle, and it's been I am growing there, like trying to have the sales meeting and stuff. I'm yet to have like someone from the internet buy my product, but I guess I'll get there. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep going. And those are my main things right now.
Amazing. Well, I just want to say congratulations on really taking a lot of action. It's amazing to hear your updates since Date with Destiny. What about yourself, Brooke? I'd love to hear a little bit about kind of what's shifted or
Thank you.
anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Catherine, congratulations. I know new relationships are exciting and long distance is very hard. If you need any help with that also, I've been there.
Thank you,
And
girl.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's been really good. So this last Date with Destiny, I would say I was like half participative because I was in Thailand at the time and I was doing everything I could to like stay up and nap and like break through. But the year before that, I had done like 5 Tony Robbins events. So I was like very familiar with the process and what was coming and everything. But you know, I got the breakthrough points that I really needed. Actually, one of the biggest things that came from that, he actually defined shame and guilt. And now I'm gonna mess it up now because I just came to my mind, right? He said, guilt is I did this thing, but shame is I am this thing, and something like that. And then like putting those on my away from values, right? Like I will anytime I kind of like it's like if I feel like I might be feeling shame or guilt, then it's like I lean into that more, right? And break through those barriers so that those things no longer exist. But then like my first Date with Destiny, the biggest shift I made was with putting regret as my top away from value so that any situation that came up is like, am I going to regret if I don't do this in 5 years from now? And like that was the biggest shift for me, or in a week, or in 5 years, or in, 50 years. And so like since my first Date with Destiny, like those have been so helpful. And so yeah, like since Date with Destiny for myself, like I said, I was traveling and I realized I need more stability. And so that's where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay here for at least 6 months and see how it goes. I have been, yeah, working as, like I said, a spiritual life coach, and it's been amazing. Like I actually just graduated, but I've been working with several people the last several months, and all the people that I've been working with are signing up with me. Like I'm so excited, and like I've just gotten people that want to work with me, like from working on the street to where I don't even like I haven't even had to go on social media or anything yet to try to get clients. Like I'm pretty much have, I have some space open, of course, but yeah, I feel super blessed right now. And that will be my kind of next goals though, is really to create the business structure that I need to kind of support. And I have a lot of tools and ideas and things. And I'm in other, like I have other coaches. So I have a lot of support. But yeah, that's basically.
Cool. Love it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Seguidas, do you want to share a little bit about yourself, brother, so the ladies know your mastery?
Thank you for sharing, Brooke and Catherine. So I have not done Tony Robbins any event. I've been on Dr. Joe Dispenza events more. I think it's kind of similar, I assume, somehow. Eric can confirm, but I am at the moment in Portugal and playing life. I've been blessed with abundance of time and energy, and supporting people on their journey. And I'm working as a Bitcoin visionary counselor, so I'm counseling on Bitcoin and welcoming people on that. Also creating art, living in nature, entrepreneur in the past, and yeah, it's a lot, and still an entrepreneur. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
about
awesome.
me, I
Amazing.
guess.
I
Amazing.
dove into Dispenza a year ago, and I've been to 2 of his week-longs in the past year. So that's what I kind of actually shifted from the Tony into more of that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. Is it so? What's the difference if you see from your perspective, just like
Between
Tony Robbins and Dr. Joe Dispenza? Is it like complete different universes, or is the same?
yeah, it's like completely different universes. I mean,
All
like
right.
it's Dispenza can go for anywhere from, meditation, let's say, right? Anywhere from calming anxiety, calming stress, just settling into your body, all the way to having out of this world experiences, right? So like
Yeah.
there's a whole new realm of possibilities and things that you have to be able to wrap your mind around before you can really go into his world. And you can get into it just by like he's who helped me break through in meditation, right? Because he is the science behind it, the how and the why. And so like when I did his programs before going to the week long, it like because like my background's I was a chemical engineer, right? And so like knowing the science
Yeah.
is
It's
huge
a
for me.
logic.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then knowing how like connecting works, right, to the different frequencies and such. Whereas Tony is very much, like he's the warrior, right? Like the masculine, go get it, right? We're gonna bust you through the walls, right? And so, and that's, I would actually say like, but the difference in life coaching and spiritual life coaching, right? Like life coaching, and that's what like I knew I wanted to be a coach the first time I did Tony Robbins, but it didn't fully resonate with me because it was just like, so, and so this is like, I have all the skills of a regular life coach, but I also have that spiritual integration to where it's like helping you tune into yourself, right? And so, yeah, it's 2 totally different worlds. Like you can't even really begin to compare them.
Cool. Thank you. We have
Stuart,
Stuart here.
brother.
Hey, Stuart.
Welcome.
Hi,
We
Stuart.
can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, hi there. Sorry I'm late at joining. Just Telegram wouldn't install on my MacBook, so I'm here now though.
Good to see you, brother. Where are you calling in from?
Hi,
So I'm
Stuart.
in England. Hi there. I'm in the UK.
Amazing. And how are things been since Date with Destiny? We were just kind of giving each other updates. Would you like to share a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of been a bit all over the place. I know I chatted to Brooke once or twice, just over text about stuff. But yeah, so Date with Destiny, it felt like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. There was so much there to it. And yeah, unfortunately, during Date with Destiny, my girlfriend's dad passed away. And quite shortly after it, we ended up breaking up. And I went traveling for a month. I went to Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and kind of decided, right, well, if I'm going to do this, then I might as well push my comfort zone further. So I did a load of stuff that I've not done before. Hired scooters and went paragliding, did a lot of solo travel whilst out there. I got back and yeah, the kind of reality of being back at home kind of hit, and the reality of the breakup kind of hit. I did Date with Destiny, sorry, not Date with Destiny. I did UPW recently, just because I had a free ticket for it from Date with Destiny, and that kind of energized me back again. I've signed up to Mastery University, so I've got Life Mastery at the end of this month. I've got like 6 coaching sessions to use. I'm part of the inner circle. Like hearing myself say all this out loud, it's like I'm feeling a little bit burnt out with self-development stuff, but it's kind of it's all moving in the right direction. I'm thinking of going traveling Italy next month. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. I'm in quite a lucky, privileged position that I run a business. Well, I own a business that kind of I learned runs itself whilst I was away. So I've got a lot of freedom, which is a blessing and a curse. one of the things I don't tell you about on YouTube is that it's very easy to do very little with your days when when you're kind of not working in a business. So I'm kind of in a bit of a state of flux at the minute. I'm reevaluating what I want to do with life, like my purpose, if you like. And yeah, just really taking it from there, not putting too much pressure on myself with it all though. So yeah, that's just been in the last 3 months.
Wow, beautiful. I can definitely resonate with a place of saying, hey, like, I don't know what I'm on this world to do. I have no idea. Like, what is my reason for living? And I can really resonate with that experience because that's really why I sought out Tony, in 2019, was because I felt like I was purposeless. I was crushing it in all areas of my life, but I didn't know who I was. So was it really all areas of my life? And it's interesting because you start to get curious about these compositions of like, wait, that's actually been my primary question. Why do I exist? What's my reason for living? And it's interesting because it really did, the beginning of getting curious about Tony's work and then going deeper into Joe's work and spending more time, in the Amazon and then doing my own thing, learning from even going to all the way to India to spend time with Anandagiri that Tony talks about at Oneness. And you see, like, I think that all of us, we really have a divine purpose, but we have to trust in it. And it is about trusting in that purpose to identify and follow that feeling that ultimately gives us the direction of what we're here to do. And then you start to tap into that magic, that real sovereignty, that real essence of knowing that you're constantly guided, you're constantly protected, you're constantly in service as the vessel, as through you. And this has been a phenomenon that I believe a lot of business leaders go through. All leaders go through, let's call it that. But literally, it's like, it's really the more I find that you get curious, the more you'll tap into that knowing that you've inherently had since you were a little boy. That's been my experience. And this innocence is something that profoundly guided my direction. So it's beautiful that you're traveling, you're going to Italy, you're doing all these things, and you're doing them for yourself. And I think that by you being in that space of freedom and curiosity, you'll step up as you are.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a revelation because the whole life happening for you rather than to you. It's like if the relationship hadn't have broken down, I wouldn't have been able to stay out in Asia as long as I did. I couldn't have just phoned her and said, "Hey, I'm staying out another 2 weeks." So there's that to it, and yeah, I think a lot of my goals had previously been about finding an amazing relationship and wanting to have children maybe at some point and all of that. But this whole experience, including the traveling, it's just made me think about, is it wise to put so much investment and emphasis on a relationship when they can, break down? And I don't say that in a negative way. It's just made me think about whether I've overinvested in the importance and the size of the piece of the pie that I give it in my life. And I feel like I'm starting to do things more for myself, starting to explore all these little dark areas of things that I've wanted to do for a long time, but not got around to, like the traveling and just really whatever comes up. Yeah.
I'm curious to ask a question to everybody, actually, because this is something that I think that brings a lot of curiosity, at least for myself, based off of also my own experience. Do you find that the more you build the relationship with yourself and refine that curiosity within knowing yourself. Like Ralph Waldo Emerson says, know thyself, right? And the more that you start to refine this responsibility within yourself, do you feel that as a result of knowing thyself and following that journey, that as a result, that partner or that experience or that family will start to be attracted to you because of the work that you're doing within yourself? This is to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
think, go ahead, Catherine.
all right. Yeah, I think yeah, there is like not only like knowing but accepting and loving yourself and respecting yourself. It's going to give like this bigger platform that you know you feel good yourself whether or not you're into a relationship. So when you go there and in a with a partner and you feel already good and you're in a like a strong balanced position, um it will only serve more when you go there, you know. So I feel if you are like in, for instance, in a lower self-esteem because you put all the time the other person being 100% and maybe you are 2%, it will not be the best situation to be in. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think, a lot of what you expressed, Stuart, right, is really so much around kind of what happens to so many people in relationships. Like you start to lose yourself, like you start to lose, the you that you were before, or you don't step into the you that you want to become, right? Because you feel like you're in this, like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like we can get stuck in relationships when really that's like kind of old paradigm. Like, why is this happening? And so then it's a matter of like, one, knowing your own boundaries of this is how I'm actually going to live my life, right? Because when you say I couldn't have stayed out there for 2 extra weeks if I was in a relationship, right? That's like this scary line of like almost like villainizing a relationship, whereas it's like, okay, there was something that's maybe off to where you wouldn't have been able to do that in the relationship. Whereas I'm like, I mean, I was in a relationship while I was traveling the whole last year, and it wasn't necessarily easy. But I was not compromising anything that I was gonna do, like it was like, yeah, I went to India for a month and then to Thailand for 3 weeks, and like we work around it or not. And so then it's like, okay, what are my boundaries around that? And then the more strength that you have like within yourself and this knowledge and like of your essence, it becomes easier, like you said. So when you have this curiosity about yourself and what you're like tolerating and putting up with, I think it makes it much easier. And then I don't know, relationships in general, right? It's like, so my relationship ended like in the last couple months, but it was from like a place of understanding and from the heart. Like we're like, okay, well, these are my needs and these are your needs, and we can't meet each other's needs right now. And it's like we still love each other, but it doesn't make sense for us to continue, right? Our visions, we have two different visions in our life right now. And so like the partnership from that level. And so yeah, I think what you said, Eric, it's like all of this stems from having an initial curiosity. It's like, why am I in this relationship? What do I want in life? And then how can we bring that together into something that expands even more?
Go ahead, Sigitas.
Yeah, relationship. It's a funny one. What is a relationship in the first place? And like I also just divorced like a few months ago, and kind of avoiding to talk today about it because I feel emotional and I want to reach out back. And yeah,
Perfect timing.
yeah, feeling
Love you, brother.
super confused. Yeah, I paused there. Is that okay?
Take your time, bro.
Yeah, it's something I really crave having, and at the same time it becomes so complicated that is just like, what the fuck is going on here? As you said, like having different needs, having like two universes kind of coming together, and yeah, we separated on yeah. The love is super clear. That's probably the only thing that is super clear is love. The rest is just like doesn't flow, and that's the confusion, you know. Like, is it temporary? Should I lean back in hope? Like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, hope is a beggar, you know. And like, should I choose to move on, or like, yeah. Thank you for space. That was unexpected for me as well to get into this.
What do you feel, brother?
Energies in my stomach, you know, going all directions, and yeah, confused, I guess, between mind and heart, and both again is the same. Like the fear of even trying to do it again. It's as Stuart said. I feel like I lost myself, and even now I still don't know. I haven't balanced myself back to my core self. So it feels, would be cool to call and talk, but at the same time, it is just like there is something inside that kind of holds me back, and I don't know which one, which one is which one. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, if you feel for it.
What do you feel is holding you back from having the conversation?
Fear, because I know how much I love her, and I will be just like, fucking, let's do it again, you know. I don't know where, as I said, where I'm standing. Yeah, it's completely fear, I would say, or yeah, I think it's fear.
Well, you mentioned confusion before also, you know, and like, is it confusion around what it is you actually want, or what it is you think is best for you, or what is the confusion around?
Oh, can you say it again, the question?
Yeah. So I'm just, you mentioned fear, but I was wondering if it's also confusion, like a lack of clarity about something that you actually want or something that you need, that's also preventing you from having a conversation because you don't know where it would go because you're uncertain.
Yeah, I have difficulty even to hear the question for some reason.
No worries.
Something is not landing. So yeah, there is some like, I don't know how can I like, yeah, confused to call her literally, because I have this belief that, like, if I call, we're gonna go the same path, and if like, so confusion, I guess, with waiting and staying patient and trusting, you know, that Eric says in the beginning, that, well, the universe will do what it has to do. So yeah.
Brother, you're so beautiful. You're in a place of such deep surrender, and
It doesn't feel like the right way to do for me right now, especially I guess when I'm so then I'm so
Yeah.
emotional. So it's just like I like a lot of things going on. Of course, there is some needs on alert in me. Yeah.
Well, I think that there's a beauty in recognizing that a pattern, right? And I just want to really acknowledge the fact that you're completely aware of pattern recognition of something that has happened before in the past. And by being alert of a pattern, it allows you to now understand, okay, how am I going to utilize, right? Like utilize this pattern so that I can change the future in the way that I move forward. And this distinctive kind of composition of the way that you're extremely aware of this emotional pattern is giving you even more conviction to making an approach that is going to change the behavior in the way that you move forward. So this is like a path of surrender. And yes, I can see, you know, you're in an emotional state, but this is also one of your greatest strengths, my bro. How many times have you been there for me when I've been in a complete emotional state and you've been there with your conviction to say, Eric, it's okay. I got you, you know? So
Yeah.
I just want to really acknowledge the fact of your ability to wanting to show up with such like truth and vulnerability, because as you know, I always talk about vulnerability is our superpower, right? Like so this is our gift, my brother. And by you taking a moment, and also because remember, you're the moon line, remember? And you're always listening to so many people. Right? You're always
Won't
listening to
complain line.
everybody. Yeah. So you're always listening to other people's kind of taking on their energy and wanting to take more responsibility. And it's also so important for us to let go or release. And this is what you're doing right now, brother, by you releasing and surrendering to just an open space of complete vulnerability. You're allowing something new to change in that pattern. So it's actually happening in the present moment.
Thank you.
Think I mean, just if I was to kind of mention it, I mean, I'm not a coach. I'm a clinical psychologist. That's my background. And I think that one of the things that people really struggle with whenever there's any change, especially if there's that conflict of values there, you know, we want the person, but we know it's not quite right, is they kind of get into like, what should I do? Or, you know, what's the right decision? What's the best one? And I think we've kind of lost that skill of grace and compassion, that self-compassion, just being able to say to ourselves, actually, right now, I'm going through some shit. And, you know, this is part of the contracts that we sign, that we don't get a choice to when we agree to life, that things aren't always going to be great. Sometimes we have to go through difficult things. And I guess a bit like Tony says, you know, no winter lasts forever. You know, I think that we get very fixated on what we should do, and we kind of forget about being a human being rather than a human doing, as that phrase goes. Self-compassion, I think that's absolutely huge. And I mean, I don't want to kind of come across like I'm the kind of, you know, the kind of high power on how to do it, but it's something that really helps me get through some difficult times. Just kind of realizing that actually, if I didn't feel shit about this, then I wouldn't be human. You know, so a really difficult process.
So beautiful.
To go through it, you know, it'd be more weird if you weren't feeling shit about it, right? You know, you won't be human.
True. Very true. Very true. And I love these emotions. Like I love them. But I'm so tired of drama. That is just but we were 4 years and we were married, and literally I was not able to pull it off any of the projects while we were together. And as soon as we broke up, it just feels like energy, just like you were saying, from this tap comes, and just the universe just starts spinning on a different, and I guess that's where a little bit more confusion even comes in, like which what is what, like why now suddenly like things start spinning when the drama went away. And I'm not saying that she is a drama. It's like it's definitely I'm a part of drama queen or king. But yeah, thank you for all the space. Really appreciate it. It feels a blessing just to ventilate and yeah, be heard and seen. Thank you.
Stuart, I really love what you shared with regards to the integration of feeling these emotions. And that's Sagita's, I think, what is really beautiful here is that you're showing this part of you, and also then maybe even anchoring that to say it's okay that whether some of these projects didn't work out in the past, that's the space of compassion that I'm hearing, Stuart really resonating with or acknowledging, is like the fact that all these projects, they were just the temporary failure, as Napoleon Hill calls it, to really help refine where you're headed, because it's just these temporary defeats or temporary failures, they're just another way of helping us say, oh, that's not the way to do it, that's not the way to do it, and that's not the way to do it. So I'm going to put you in the right direction to help you refine the way it's going to happen and the way to make it happen. And maybe that's why things are starting to show up.
Yeah, I find the way we do relationships is so difficult, because it's like, how unnatural is it for you go from spending 4 years, or even if it's a year or however long, with someone, and like it's like that's your person, right? Like that's the person that knows you the best, that's the person you tell everything to, that's the person like that has your back, and then all of a sudden you break, and then it's like that's gone, and it's like you're not in like communication with each other, or it's not positive communication or whatever. And I find that such an unfortunate way to handle things. And like, I don't know, I'm going to speak it and maybe something will come from it, right? But when I broke up with my ex, and I broke up a few months ago, but I don't know if you've heard of the term conscious uncoupling, right? Like we decided, it's like, it's not because of you, it's not because of me, it's because we aren't together. But then we were able to be around each other for the next 2 months and to remain friends. And during that time together, it was like we got to kind of naturally break apart and redefine our relationship. And in that time period, it's like we got to say, oh, wow, reflect on, these are all the ways that we grew together. These are all the ways that like our relationship helped us and helped us grow. And also we got to see like, oh yeah, these are the reasons we don't work together. And these are the things that we can now move on from and let go of, because we weren't helping each other thrive in these specific areas or in these specific ways, right? When those are really core to us. And so I think like perhaps even just reflecting about both of those things, it's like, how has this relationship helped me grow? And like, how have I become stronger because of it? And also, what were the parts that really weren't as good as, sometimes our brains can go straight to the rose-colored glasses, to everything was good and everything was dandy, but really, where were we not supportive of each other? Where were we not, helping each other thrive? Like, and where were we not really a mix? And kind of when we can then separate it and say, okay, like, I can see now how maybe this wasn't actually aligned for me, and maybe there's room for something more or something different, right? That's more supportive in all the areas. So I feel a lot of compassion for you guys, because yeah, just like having that part of you yanked away like is not an easy thing to go through in any kind of way. So thank you, all of you.
It's kind of surreal, real. When I was like looking forward to spend the whole life, I didn't went into it to go, for 4 years. I went all the way, all in. Yeah. but we after we separated or when we cut the marriage bond, then we had a few days that was very beautiful. Like as you say, some kind of conscious decoupling. So it happened by default. We had a beautiful, yeah, it's a beautiful term, conscious decouple. I think I would need that more.
I would love to share that, you know, Sigitas, you know that I used to be married, and then after that I had very serious relationships, a couple of them, and you met me at one of the times where I was going through one of the biggest struggles, where we met, and I want to just share that when I got married, same thing. You know, I had this expression of wanting, you know, we had the white picket fence, the house, you know, the cars, all these things. And I realized, wow, you know, I'm so unhappy. And in my current state at that time, I couldn't take responsibility for the experience and say, hey, you know, like I need to figure this out. Can we figure this out together? And I didn't have the awareness that I had today. And I chose to give up. And this was a very conscious choice. However, I have to say that for me at that time, it was what I needed to then go through all of the other expressions or other kind of scenarios that helped me refine even the relationships, because I had, you know, 3 other relationships that were very serious after that, and not all at once, but you know what I mean. And then and then all of a sudden what happened was I learned more about what I was really needing within myself from my own feminine nature. And this kind of gave me a more of an essence of knowing that, okay, so with this relationship, this is where I struggled. Okay, so how can I refine that? I refined that, and then I struggled somewhere else, and I refined that in a different relationship. And then I had 2 other relationships where the last relationship was where I wasn't thinking big enough. I wasn't owning my own value in terms of knowing that I could step up into that leader that I really believed in. And, you know, and then we met. You know, and then, you know, all of a sudden these like journeys ended up happening to help us refine and understand that, okay, there are always these temporary failures, but what, from my perspective, and of course, you know, our intention is always to do things for lifelong journeys and to be committed and solely focused and finding the solution. And what I found is that sometimes tapping more into that feminine nature is I allowed myself to really allow our great teacher, our creator, to guide something even more beautiful through that experience. And then that was the whole part of like listening and paying attention that I started to navigate. And that's kind of, and look, Nala shows up. Look at that. What a coincidence, right? She feels it, you know.
Say hi.
And this is the thing. So paying attention has been something that I allowed that to come through, and something that just for me was really powerful.
I think something that's kind of I had to deal with during my breakup is that we have this kind of very normal cognitive bias where we remember the really good times and we start to remember or even fantasize about things being better than they actually were. I mean, I don't know your situation, Sigita, but you know, I mean, quite often when a relationship breaks down, we tend to kind of minimize the problems in our memory. You know, we tend to kind of idealize like that it was a lot better than it was. I don't know if there's things like that going on for you. I suppose one thing I always ground myself into remembering is that a lot of these things we probably knew how we were going to feel, and we still made that decision back then, even knowing that, you know, we decided that things were so difficult right now that there's probably not a future in this enough to make it worth it, that the alternative is still better. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's something.
definitely. Definitely, it's easing out the pain, I guess, what you're saying fundamentally, that the pain that was in a relationship is easing out. Yeah, I still don't know. Probably it's not in the knowing, not in the, not in there. As you said, Eric, I'm just paying attention now, listening. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of really struggle with uncertainty. There's nothing more uncertain than relationships. You know, like I said at the beginning, when Tony talks about the science of success and the art of fulfillment, it's like, you know, I kind of half joke to people, I've got the science of success nailed. It's like a lot of the position I'm in, people would absolutely love to be in, you know, work-wise and you know, financially and stuff like that. But there is still that little bit about things like that, things like work, things like finances, you can have 100% control over to a degree. But relationships, as soon as you bring someone else into the mix, your control is down to 50% at most, you know.
It's interesting that you say about uncertainty, because for me, that felt like the only certainty in life in general.
I guess that's why it
Wow.
hurts them so much, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There is a lot, and as you Brooke told you earlier about the shame and guilt, it's it's been a journey also, like for me to make that decision to break up, because it's like for me the commitment is nothing I want to throw around, you know. So it's yeah, it's kind of like a bitch slapping for some reason in my face by myself. I don't know what's going on, actually.
Can I just say
Ugh.
how beautiful it is, like, to hear the three of you men talk about relationships in the way that you are, and kind of this desire for commitment and this desire to, like, yeah, like, be one with someone or to have like this life together. Like, I feel like it's not something you hear often or in such a genuine tone and manner. And like, what I would like hope and pray is just that, like, you know, you never become jaded to that, and always know like that vision and are able to come back around. Like, I know it's like, you know, has its difficult times, but it really is just beautiful to hear, like, as a woman on the other side. So thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
totally agree with that. This is very beautiful to hear and feel, because sometimes as a woman I felt like, is the other party not feeling the same that I did? You know, so it's really nice to be in an open space, like it's safe and we can share all these feelings. Thank you, Sigitas, for being so open with us.
Well, that's you I don't know if I should say you're welcome.
But you see, this is the
That's
beautiful part.
that's completely unexpected, you know, like and of course then I feel, you know, like a triggers comes up, and then Erica feels like, let's talk about relations.
Going straight
Without
in.
Right in there.
right in there.
But this
Yeah,
is
but
the gift.
Kate, we definitely we feel a lot, and I think, yeah, there is no separation in feelings fundamentally. Like we all have the same. At least I tend to believe.
Well, what I really love and I really heard, and you know, it sounded like, you know, Stuart, you mentioned there's like a need for control inside of the relationship. And then Sagitas is like, that's actually the most beautiful part, is that ability to not control, that ability to allow that expression, that dance to come to life. You see, so this is the beauty, is like so many, this science of achievement that you've cultivated, right, Stuart, and then Sagita's this art of fulfillment that you've cultivated. It's so beautiful to listen to the both of you, because as a result, I'm observing the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment having this conversation in such an amazing way, where each of you are actually really cultivating each other's awareness in such a collective way that's refining the intelligence, so that the amazing ladies that are here and the ones that are going to watch at some point in the future are able to see how it's so important for us to actually let go of this control, this need to know, from a mind's perspective versus a heart's perspective. The heart's perspective of fulfillment and stepping into any environment with that level of trust is actually the certainty. The certainty comes from this absolute knowing and trust and guidance and belief, to be able to know that there is something so much greater than ourselves guiding us. And as a result, that all of that achievement is actually showing up in the present moment. And I believe that this is actually the most gifted grace that we can offer to our communities, to our organizations, to our businesses, to our friends, our family, to ourselves. Because from that place, you actually show up being who you genuinely have been meant to become, versus doing, like you said earlier, Stuart. So I think that it's beautiful to observe and to listen what you guys are sharing. But then as a result of you guys just being who you are, you're literally here to help each other. And that's what I've been actually observing in this most beautiful way, is as a result of you guys just being yourselves, you're helping each other.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
all. It's so unexpected. It's so interesting. It's just like, again, that's leaning in that mystery of life, where I kind of try to hide my feelings for some reason and not to express, and now here I am in the room with the people that just showed up in some miracle way, and just holding space and being together and sharing wisdom and knowledge. I'm really, really grateful, Eric, for you pulling this up together. Thank you. Well, we both did do it. Yeah, thank you.
I think it's quite fascinating. It's like, you said you've been holding this in, and then it just came out. And it's like, when our bodies and our beings know that we're in a safe space, and then it's just allows the opening of the vessel, right? And so I think, I think it's amazing how Eric was able to create this space with the right people that allowed it and be expressed. So
Thank you, all of you. It's really beautiful, because we're co-creating it, right? It's a collective experience that allows us to manifest a more meaningful responsibility for the future, and so that our future generations can actually know that they can express, that they have a place that is safe, and that they continue to manifest their deepest dreams and desires by following this inner sense of fulfillment. Because achievement is great, but if we're not fulfilled in our desire, it's like there's really no reason for living. And I know that for myself, that's been such a important component of why I exist, is really, it's about all of us shining together, like it's not about it's everybody giving their insight, their perspective, their awareness, their beauty, their experience, and that becomes the essence of collective consciousness, right? That becomes the truth of what's actually showing up. Because it's about listening to each other. It's as much as so many of us like really, have the desire to share, the mirror neurons of what we're listening to and observing in each other's behavior speaks way more. And we all know this. And so it's so much more beautiful to just like sit here and watch and observe each other's magic come to life. And I think that oftentimes we forget because we've been conditioned by society that we need to go, make this happen, versus just being like, Stuart, you so beautifully said earlier. So I hope that we can continue these. I hope that you guys can keep coming back. We do this every day, a different theme. But it's always focused on making sure that everybody is just showing up in their life and business and experiences so that we can manifest an even more meaningful responsibility, not for just ourselves, because that's where it starts, but in addition, now moving that forward to the next generation and the generations that follow, so that we do live in that place of deep integrity of leaving this planet, this experience, these relationships better than when we found them. So I appreciate each and every one of you and your time and energy, because from this place, and it's because of all of us that we get to show up. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Thank you so much, guys. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, you too.
Amazing to meet you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and we'll see you all next week. I'll drop in the link, also the live stream if you guys want to share it or anything like this. So it's something that you can watch back and observe.
And where is going to be?
I'll drop it in the link in the group.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. See,
Much love.
eat ice cream. Ciao.
Yeah, I will do something about it for sure. Thank you.
Yes.
Ciao.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao.